Well, hello everybody. This is Larry Kirshner again. I am coming to you live from the Darkness's horror retail store. And today we're going to talk about the fact that we are going to have a sale. We're going to sell TerrorVisions, finally going to sell it, because we sort of have a plan on how to replace it. Look at that cool prop right there from Pumpkinhead. And so I'm going to walk you through TerrorVisions, and we're going to talk about a price. We're going to talk about what's included. We're going to talk about when it has to be removed. And in this video, we're also going to talk about what we're going to replace it with and what our plans are and exactly how we're going to do all of that. So before we walk through TerrorVisions, and it's very loud because TerrorVisions is turned on over there. But before we go into that, we are here in our retail store, and you know, we've been restocking this like literally every other day, and we just got these in and they did so well we had to buy more and restock. We're trying to literally run out of everything. That's our goal. Of course, we're not going to run out of everything, but we're just letting all the t-shirts, we're not replenishing them, we're just running out of the t-shirts, running out of the hoodies. Although we did order more hoodies, we ordered more of that style. But yeah, we're basically just trying to get to nothing. And with that being said, we have had some new stuff come in. But for me, one of the most exciting things is buying new stuff, okay? I'm like a big fan of buying new stuff. So I'm like excited to maybe like get rid of some of the old stuff. And we just got these in. Get rid of some of the old stuff and get some new stuff in. And so let me explain real quick a little bit about what we've done. By the way, we've created this bin down here. This is all going to be liquidated because it's not really selling. And let me show you something here. I don't know where they're at, but we've been selling these mystery bags, and I don't know where they're at. But this has been a big seller here at the Darkness. We've been creating these mystery bags, and oh, there they are. See them down there? And do you see what is on them? It says XL, medium, small, okay? And you pay a certain price and you're guaranteed a t-shirt, and inside of every one of these bags is a mystery. Like, you don't know what's in it. It was so successful that we're going to be buying for next year our own bags. Let's go back and take a look at this bag, because this bag is very important. See this bag right here? Let's get it out here. Okay. So they pay, and look at this bag. Isn't that bag great? I bought a lot of these and we've already gotten rid of all of them. It's a beautiful bag. And we're going to be getting our own bags. My voice is going hoarse. I don't know why. Let me get a water here. But these mystery bags have really been amazing. So they get a t-shirt. They could also get a free ticket to the Lamp or a Creepy World. They could get something really cool, but they're also getting stuff that we're trying to get rid of. So they pay $40 and the value of the bag could be up to $100. And we've been selling the hell out of them. We can't even keep them in stock. Every night they're flying out the window. We even made a video and put that on social media about how we have them, and people just poured in to get them. Now I want to say that we've made a lot of videos from inside the gift store. And I want to report that we're on pace to do about $100,000 with our retail store. And when you think about how many days it's actually been open, because the darkness is only open 20 some odd days, we're pretty excited about that. Now when we open for Krampus and Valentine's, believe it or not, our Krampus night usually produces over $10,000 in sales for our retail store, which we're very happy about that. And the same for Valentine's. So when the season's over, hopefully we would have generated over $120,000 with the retail store. It is an absolute game changer, because when people come out of the darkness, they come in here, and one of the things that they really like is when they walk around and they see stuff like this Conjuring Annabelle. And of course they want to buy it, and they say, well, it's $449, maybe I don't. And that egg pod, a lot of people want it, nobody has bought it, nobody's bought an ET, but it looks cool. It looks cool. We have sold a lot of the Annabelles, and we've sold not as many of these giant Pennywises, but we have sold, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them. You sell like more of these Chuckies than you do anything in terms of a big product. So one of the things that we want to do, and yes, we're going to get to TerrorVisions, and I'm going to walk through, and we're going to talk about a price. But here's one of the things that we want to do is reimagine the darkness. We feel like we've got to do something drastically different, not just change the scene. We got to get real serious. So the TerrorVisions has been there since the first year of Transworld. So that was the very first year of TerrorVisions. It's time to move on from it. It's been there for a long time. You know what's really interesting is when we do tours for the haunted house industry, a lot of those people think it's the best part. A lot of people who come to the darkness every year feel like it's one of the best parts. But it's been there for a long, long time. And I think that when we look at this space, we want to reimagine it, and we want to make some changes. Let's talk about those. Okay. So do you see this nook in here? It's like crazy, because you have to like walk around here, and it's very tight. And this actually has become a little spot where people who want to steal stuff would come back here. Okay? So here's the dilemma. When I took out a big prop, there was a big prop there. It was a big hand that grabbed people. It was a big clown. We got rid of it. That's where it was, and it would be inside that cove jumping out of people. So when we got rid of it, it created this nook, and we went ahead and utilized it for the retail store. And one of the things I thought about was going all the way over and up, and then that would push all this back. But I'm worried that it's taking too much away from the haunted house. Oh, look at this. And that needs to go back up there. So, with that being said, the gift store really would be a lot more functional if that nook was gone. In other words, that part back there went all the way over here, that was pushed back. It wouldn't create a ton of room, but it would make the whole thing a little bit more functional. And it would even be better if we went from that back wall all the way out and then back around. That would create a whole nother level of retail store. I'm fully aware. But I also need space for the haunted house. So let's start with getting rid of that nook. And so, just so we're on the same page here, do you see all these toys? So this wall of toys would be moved back to there. So it would be over, and so basically you would pick up, you know, I don't know, 8 feet by 8 feet, 8 feet by 10 feet, something like that. But it would make the room flow a lot better, and it would make the retail store bigger. But I want to get something across to you that this retail store, because I've seen people make a few comments that you're getting rid of the haunt to create more opportunities to make money. But you know what the truth is, and I'm sorry, but this is the truth, that it's really become an attraction, okay? A lot of people go in there to look around, but they don't necessarily buy anything. And that's perfectly fine, because hey, it's really cool to look around in there. So, with that being said, I want to reimagine all of this, okay? Not just the horror retail store, but all of it, okay? So let's just try to think this through. So one of the things I was thinking about was getting rid of this, getting rid of that, getting rid of all those display cases. And what I was originally thinking, to be completely honest with you, was, oh, I want to build where the TerrorVisions is as like a horror museum that's interactive and the monsters jump out at you. Now I'm thinking a little different. Now I'm thinking, what if I actually build a horror museum in what is just like a cluttered mess of a horror museum? Okay, I wouldn't be able to get as many monsters and creatures, but what if I reimagine the horror museum a little bit, and it's not all about full-size characters? What if it was also about collector masks, collector busts, things like that? We would be able to display a lot more horror memorabilia if it just wasn't full-size figures. And then I started thinking, what if I made, like, say for the Creature of Black Lagoon over there, and he was in like his own bin, and I actually had a TV over it, and I had the movie Creature of Black Lagoon looping. That would be kind of cool. Then right next to him was Frankenstein. Right next to him was like Freddy Krueger, just as an example. That would be pretty cool. And so then this whole room in here would become nothing but photo opportunities. So that would allow me to take out TerrorVisions completely and rebuild it from scratch. So I started thinking, like, well, what would you do then if you did it this way instead? And I started thinking to myself, well, that's a good question. Well, you know, like a haunted house. But then I started thinking also about the bigger plans, that we are this close to being approved to take this building over to the other building. And if you haven't watched any of my other videos, it solves a lot of problems. Number one, we don't have a clear-cut access to the roof. This new building would have a big staircase in it, and we would build it all the way to the roof. So you would actually, the staircase would take you all the way up to a locked door on the ceiling. So that's one thing, okay? Another thing is that it would solve a problem in the back of the building where it needs all new windows, but now it wouldn't need all new windows because now the back of the building is no longer the back of the building. So, but the biggest thing of all is it would connect my escape room clear cut to the building I'm standing in right now. So I have to start thinking about, okay, if that's connected and there would be this wedge in the middle of the mini golf and the museum. So I started thinking about the fact that I have in my possession, and let's go look at this right now, a bunch of Jekyll and Hyde animatronics, which is now, you know, out of business. Jekyll and Hyde nightclub, or Jekyll and Hyde restaurant, it folded, it went out of business. And I have a whole bunch of these animations, and I have used some of them in my escape rooms. However, many of these animations that I bought, I don't even know how long ago it's been now, geez, 10 years plus, are just sitting up on a shelf, not being used, collecting dust. So I thought to myself, well, wait a minute. Maybe I could build a secret bar, but it's not really secret. It's part of a VIP package you would buy for the darkness. Now let's take a look at here. Okay, that is the violin player and the skeleton that tells funny jokes from Jekyll and Hyde. This is an ogre lady from Jekyll and Hyde. And this guy in the chair right here, that is another animation from Jekyll and Hyde. It's an old guy. It's actually my favorite one, and I've been meaning to use it. That up there is a VP production vampire changing animation that I could rebuild, and I could utilize that. And then I actually have another animatronic from a Jekyll and Hyde nightclub that's in my Frankenstein escape that I'm planning on replacing. So now I have another one, okay? And by the way, I have even more than that, but you can't see them, but they're there. So let's see, if we go around here, there's those two busts up there. They're right up there. And they've been sitting there for a long time, okay? On top of that, okay, I have this from Jekyll and Hyde. Let's walk over and look at this. This is from Jekyll and Hyde. That mummy. And then that knight is from Jekyll and Hyde. And look, there's a Jekyll and Hyde sign, another Jekyll and Hyde sign. Okay, so you get the picture. I have a lot of stuff from Jekyll and Hyde Club. So what if, I was thinking to myself, what if I take that wedge and I build like a Jekyll and Hyde bar? And on some of the TVs we show like horror clips, black and white horror clips, sci-fi clips, and then on top of that maybe we show like a couple that have sports, and it's a complete Jekyll and Hyde type of show where all the animations are programmed, they interact with the customers, and then I try to move a lot of my pinballs in there, the horror ones especially, like Ghostbusters. Let's see, what else is a horror pinball? Elvira. Walking Dead I don't have, but I could get. There's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre pinball that I could put in there. Stranger Things would definitely count. That could go in there. I mean, you get the picture, okay? And that Walking Dead video game that's up there could go in there as well, okay? So I'm kind of thinking like, okay, so what if I sell tickets to the darkness? And if you pay a certain amount, you get the VIP treatment, and we like really improve the experience. So you get immediate access, you get a lanyard, you get a badge that you get to take home with you, and then you use that badge to gain entry into the VIP horror bar. And then during the haunt season, we close that off so no one can use it except for the people who are VIP experience. I don't know. I think that would be pretty cool, actually. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking that bar also could sell some food, because like at Creepy World, we're actually selling pizza and, you know, of course we can sell ice cream and soda and beer and wine and all kinds of other things. So yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking out loud. The room would have a bathroom. And then when the thing wasn't open, the haunted house wasn't open, the people who come up for the haunted house, I mean the escape room could use it. And it would also could be rented out for company parties. We get requests for company parties all the time for St. Louis Escape, and now we would have a room to do it. So yeah, it all like started like falling in place. So then I have to ask myself, well, what would you replace TerrorVisions with, and how would you do that? And I can tell you one thing I would have to do is, and I'm going to explain this to you, and by the way, I can tell you this whole renovation, everything included, would cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million. So it has to pay off, okay? It has to pay off. So let me explain one thing to you. So we're gonna open this garage door here. And let's take a look at this so we can all be on the same page together. And then we're gonna go look at TerrorVisions, and we're gonna talk about a sale price. Now, do you see this building right here? Okay. That is TerrorVisions right there. That is it. That is the highway. And you see this is like a big old hill. And you got this lane back here. And you got the sign for the darkness. Now, this whole wall would be torn off, okay? The steel would go from here over to that corner. So that electrical pole would have to be moved. This would no longer be here, this staircase. So everything that you see in here would be built onto the back of this building. A staircase would be right over here, and then there would be a first floor, and then obviously there would be a second floor, okay? This wall would be torn out, okay? And then when this wall is torn out, see, you would be able to walk from the escape room right in to this horror Jekyll and Hyde club. And now here's what I would do, and this is the interesting part. I would advertise it locally as like its own business, like a unique place, like a tourist spot in St. Louis to come visit, like something that no one's ever seen before. They come, they can play pinball, they can hang out. It could be reserved for private parties, you know, whatever, right? And that's kind of what I'm thinking. So it gets me back to, what would you replace TerrorVisions with? And here's one of the things right away, and I want to explain this to you. So you see this wall right here, that's TerrorVisions is right up against it. So when I redesign it, what I would have to do is I would come off like at least 4 feet. Because when this wall comes down, I don't want the new haunt to go all the way up to that beam. So I would probably bring it in like 4 feet. And then the other benefit would be that this could be an actor corridor as well. So they could roam the whole side of the haunt. And I would probably build a corridor. Okay, do you see this opening right here? There's another one just like it right above, and that's where you go from the darkness into TerrorVisions right here. So I'd build another corridor here, and then a corridor there, so you could get all the way around the haunted house. And let's see. So, do you see this beam right here? This beam all the way over is the retail store and the area where all the museum stuff is at. And then what has happened is the retail store's bumped out a little bit over here. It's in this area right here, okay? So basically all the rest of this would be a haunted house. So what was I thinking to do? Well, honestly, I was thinking to do something very, very different. And to be honest, I'm not totally for sure what to do. But one of the things I thought about was doing like an Ed Gein slaughterhouse, or like a meat packing plant or something like that, and making it super gory, super disgusting, but allow clowns to basically be running the meat packing plant. Very similar to something that I already have at Creepy World that really works. The difference is that maze over there is about 1,000 square feet, and then it has some a big chunk that goes on after it. But the difference here would be that this would get a whole nother level of detail. This would get a whole nother level of overall level of props, animatronics, and set design. And it would be much bigger. And because you're in a controlled environment, you could probably, blow this out. And then I was just thinking it would be over the top, gross and disgusting. But here's the real catch. And this is why I went into this long tirade here. So you see when this wall comes out over here, the escape room will now be able to connect through this Jekyll and Hyde style bar, and you will be able to walk over and into the horror museum area, which I will also have to rebuild. And now you can actually get to the gift store as well. So yeah, we would definitely open the gift store year-round now. Not every day, but maybe once a week or something like that. But here's the thing. Do I want, and I learned my lesson. Now listen to what I'm saying. When I bought the building where St. Louis Escape was at, the first thing that came to my mind was build it as a haunted house and charge an extra whatever dollars for people to go to the darkness, and then pay extra to go to another haunted house next door. That didn't work out so good. So yes, people did buy the add-on haunt, but for the amount of money that we took in, minus the amount of costs on labor and things of this nature, how much did we make per year? I mean, it wasn't even 60,000 extra per year. I mean, it's like nothing. It doesn't pay any serious bills, I can tell you that. So what if, and I don't want to make that mistake again, so I don't need to empty this space and then turn it into something that just is basically another haunt, because what would make more sense is to exit people out of the darkness where they used to go out, and then turn this whole section into year-round business connected to the escape room. That would make more sense. So, but I'm not going to do that, because I think the darkness needs, we have to be able to get people out of the darkness and somehow over to the gift store, right? So we have to connect the last scene and the actual darkness to the gift store. So yeah, I guess we're gonna have no choice but to build the connection as a haunted house. Now, way back, before we even renovated the darkness for Transworld last year, we talked about building an escape room in here, in this space. So half of it would be an escape room, and the other half would be a horror museum, like an interactive one, like we were talking about doing. And so you would exit the darkness, you would go through this horror museum, and that's how you would get connected into the retail store. Okay, and so then this half on this side would be another escape room that was going to be like, we were going to advertise it as a scary escape room. So anyway, now if I build the building, I was thinking, well, wait a minute. If I build a haunted house on the back of the darkness, why not have it double as an escape room? So what it will end up being is a haunted house that also will ultimately be an escape room. And how would that work? It would work really simple. So all year round, it's an escape room. And then when the haunt is open, the last booking of it will just be an hour before, you know, the haunt opens. In other words, like, let's say the haunt opens at 6 o'clock as an example. The last booking might be at 4:30. They're out by 5:30, whatever, okay? So that's how we would do it. And I would run the escape room over here differently than I run the ones over there, because you would be extremely, from a very far distance, you could not operate from our game master room this escape room over here. So we would make this escape room where everyone escapes regardless of how good you are, and the game master would be an actor. So there would be a participant, it would be a live actor, and so I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be fun to advertise the scariest, goriest escape room in the world? I was like, yeah, that's got a ring to it. And so, yeah, then I started thinking, yeah, that's what I probably should do. And so this would be a separate escape room. So it would help the darkness because it would be a new haunted house. But then in the regular season, you have to be able to walk from the lobby. The actor, when they're done with their room, would make their way back over to the main lobby, pick up their next group, and bring them over and put them in to the escape room. And so I have to design it in a way that they would be able to get into it correctly and then be able to escape. And you'd have to have like a multiple version of the haunted house where it can easily be converted to an escape room, blah, 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 okay? It would also be the biggest escape room I have, because I'm guessing that this new escape room would be somewhere around 2,000 square feet. That's my guess. Around 2,000 square feet is my guess. So, with that being said, that's kind of what we're thinking right now. The building might cost $500,000. Building the new haunt is probably going to be like a couple $100,000, would be my guess. Maybe $250 with all the props. The escape room would be added to it later. So this is what I'm thinking. I would love to know your comments. What do you think of this plan? And one of the questions that you might ask is, how long would this take? I don't know, honestly. I can tell you that this would give me the ability to renovate this place over 2 years. In other words, I would make some changes to the darkness itself, get TerraVisions out of here, rebuild TerraVisions, and then in 2026 rebuild this room right here. And there's my 2-year plan. What do you think? Anyway, right now I'm gonna go into TerraVisions and we're gonna take a look and we're gonna discuss selling this attraction. Now it's going to be very noisy. Very noisy. To say all the artwork, all the walls, and all the props. The wall system is modular. You can take it apart. There is a staircase right there to take it out. That's an animation. And there's a lot of props. Now I added up all of the props. If I sold them for bargain basement prices, okay, bargain basement, it would be around $55,000 to $60,000 would be the cost of just the latex props and animation. That's an animation. So you would get all the props, all of them, all of the artwork, all of the wall panels, everything. You would have to bring a team here, and you would have to be able to get it out quickly. These are all animations. You would get all of those. All the cutouts, all the wall panels. Another animation, props everywhere. That's an animation. That's an animation. That's an animation. This clown car could not be removed. But you could have all the props. All the props would be included. That's an animation. That's a CGI effect. You'll also notice the whole thing is built 12 feet tall. That's an animation. That's a CGI effect. That is an animation. Animation. That's an animation. All these heads. There's another prop. Now this tunnel would not be included. It's going to stay exactly where it is because that's how people are going to exit out of the place. Now you can take these wall panel, you can take these off the wall. There's another CGI effect. And another prop. See, the exit of the haunted house would stay right where it's at. Now you can't see that right there because it's dark. but that is the corridor that I would put around the new haunted house, okay? So that's the haunted house that's for sale. Now let me just kind of run over a couple ways that this would be sold to you. So Krampus is coming up. We don't want to take it down and try to put something, I mean, we can't put anything in its place from Krampus, between now and Krampus. So the way this would work is if you wanted to buy it, you would come right after our Krampus event, which is December the 14th. We could get people to help you remove it, so that's really not a problem. But you would need to have a lot of people, you would need to have trucks, whatever you're going to do. And we would absolutely help you remove it. And there's two ways to get it out. There's the way that I showed you, then there's another door right here. And so the goal would be for you to have it completely removed within, 4 or 5 days. Because we wouldn't have a lot of time to try to put something back in its place. So that would create a lot of content for the Hauntworld channel. Us trying to rebuild a brand new haunted house in time for Transworld and getting it done in 6 or 7 weeks. Like, we wouldn't have a lot of time, that's for sure. So it would make a really interesting vlog, a daily vlog. So there you have it. So the props, at a bargain basement props, animations, props, price, whatever, it would be around, $55,000 to $60,000. So then you have all the artwork and all the wall panels, the facade, and everything else. So if somebody came with $100,000 cash, this would be yours, okay? This would be yours. So we need you to contact me immediately. You can email me at info@scarefest.com, or you can call me at 314-504-3970. And you can get in touch with me, and if you're serious, you can make a deposit and you can come get it. You can get your whole team together, get it all figured out, and on December the 15th, you can start taking it out. So there you have it. So I hope you found this video educational. And by the way, if I don't sell it, and I don't have somebody literally lined up very quickly to come take it out and get it out of here, then I'll probably leave it until after Transworld and then try to tackle it after then. Because it's just too hard for me to remove it and replace it simultaneously. So I probably would just skip that, run it through Valentine's and Transworld, and say, hey, it's gone. Maybe I could have a prop sale, sell the props, take the wall panels, sell it separately, which I'm willing to do, but I'd rather sell it all to one person first. So there you have it. Let me know what you think. If I get somebody to sell it or buy it, I would definitely let it go and get it out of here. And then I'm going to put my whole team, everybody. I would be hiring a lot of people from out of town. So if you're interested in working here in the winter, you can contact me as well. We'll need techs. We're going to need scenic painters. We're going to need everybody to try to build a world-class haunted house in 6 weeks. And I'm going to show you that it can be done. Because I've heard about all these people building haunted houses for theme parks and taking forever to build them and then literally weeks on end to install them. And I'm going to show you that not only could I build a really incredible haunted house right here in about 6 weeks, but I'm going to show you how to do it. That'll really make for an interesting vlog, right? A daily vlog, building a haunted house completely from scratch. I've done it before. If you look at the channel, there's a video on the channel, building a haunted house from scratch. Now, that one took a lot longer. Number one, it was way bigger, but not only was it way bigger, we didn't work on it straight. This, I would work on every day until we had it done. that'll really make things very interesting. And it changes what I'm thinking about doing. It gets me really closer to where I want to be. So when would I build this Jekyll and Hyde Club? Well, I don't know, because the building's not built. It might be a 2026 project, like the building gets built and then you don't do anything with that space right away because you got other commitments, other things you're doing, whether it's Creepy World or whatever. But at some point, yes, we would build it, and then we would build this room over here completely from scratch. And that would be the 2026 renovation to the darkness. So there would be back-to-back renovations, absolutely. And in case you're not aware, yes, we are planning 2 new escape rooms as well, where we're going to replace Frankenstein, and we're building our alien-themed escape room. So there you have it. Let us know what you think in the comments. Get in touch with me via email, info@scarefest.com. If you're interested in buying TerrorVisions, we'd like to have a wire for deposit, and then just show up with cash, baby, and let's go. All right. So like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. And let's see what all happens between now and Transworld 2025.